Hey friends, it's that time again for another video. Marcus and I are here to walk you through some of the awesome new changes coming with Season 8, Belial's Return. Today we'll be covering new layer bosses, new seasonal boss powers, some great quality of life improvements, and a big rework to the layer boss system.
I'm really excited we're talking about Big Bad Belial, the colossal con artist of cantankerous carnage.
Marcus is really excited, but you know what? He's right. Belial's a big liar, and this is his season. So you'll see him showing up in multiple areas of the game, such as that big final showdown you would expect to see from a demon of his magnitude. The strongest version of him is in his supreme form at the exalted layer boss level. But then we have other versions of him just showing up, causing mayhem. They can be found in the new seasonal activity, and potentially even after you defeat a layer boss. He's basically going to be stalking us all season, so that's fun.
Yeah. With the addition of Belial, the team reworked the layer boss system. Everything is much more streamlined now. For starters, layer bosses are now free to summon. So the keys that were used to summon them are now used to open chests that spawn after you defeat them in battle. Also, the keys to open these new bosses' loot chests have been consolidated into one type per boss. For example, to open Varshan's loot chest, you just need Malignant Hearts. This changes boss rotations a bit, as each player in the group will now need their own materials to open the chest and claim the rewards. This should help eliminate those those players who lack sufficient boss materials of their own. But hey, you can still trade boss keys with friends, and you do get a bonus chance for loot from the cache when playing with others. Here's a quick chart of the new boss tiers. Also, it's important to note that boss materials now stack to 99. Yay, stash space. Stygian stones drop from the Initiate Layer Boss tier, which can be converted into keys for Duriel and Dariel, or if you wish, Harbinger of Hatred, who we'll show off in a bit. Just head over to the Alchemist and choose the desired key you'd like to craft.
These changes come at the perfect time because we're adding 3 additional layer bosses to the system. Once you've made your way into Torment 1, these bosses will appear on your map just like before, but unlike before, you'll notice the icon is different, along with lots of added information and utility. It now shows you the boss's name, the loot drops you can expect to see, required items you'll need, and my favorite part, you can even teleport directly to the boss's lair. Now, we don't want to spoil too much of these fights, but Urvar is now a layer boss. You might remember him. He's the one that ran a sword through your chest. Yeah, him. He's been added to the Initiate tier along with Varshan and others. You can find him in East Kurast, and you can bet he's brought his knights along with him for some fun. The Harbinger of Hatred has joined the layer boss system as well, in the same tier with Andariel and Duriel. You can find this evil pup near Kurast docks, and I will say, the Harbinger packs quite the punch, so dodge stuff, don't stand in things, and you know the drill. Finally, we have Belial. The Lord of Lies has returned, bigger and badder than ever before. You can find him in the middle of Gaeakul once you progress the seasonal story far enough. Again, you're going to want to pay attention to your positioning, look for safe zones, and act accordingly. If you manage to defeat him in his supreme Belial form, he drops a special chest that lets you select the loot pool you want from the other available bosses, giving players choice and more control. He also has the highest mythic unique chance of all the layer bosses and guarantees that one ancestral unique item will drop. So yeah, you're gonna wanna take this guy down. I also wanna note that all layer bosses across the board have been updated this season. You'll notice these baddies now have extra abilities and new phases to watch out for.
Another thing to watch out for is that when you open a chest from any of the layer bosses, there's a small chance you'll summon Belial. He's weaker than the Supreme form, but still a tough challenge. Defeating him rewards you with incredible loot. He'll also drop a duplicate of the chest you just opened.
So we doubled it?
You doubled it, exactly. For example, let's say you defeat Duriel. After looting the chest that spawns, there's a chance Belial could appear. Once defeated, he'll drop another pre-opened Duriel chest. And even better, he'll also drop the keys needed to open his Supreme Boss Form chest. But wait, there's more. As we mentioned earlier, Belial can also appear in the new seasonal activity, Apparition and Incursions. These are open world, fast-paced, boss rush style events that you can find on your world map. As you complete these events, you'll also face off against 10 different apparitional bosses and earn tons of seasonal currency. The seasonal currency, Spectral Ash, can be used to level up your boss powers. You can collect these boss powers from all over the world, starting with the 10 that drop from the apparitional bosses we just mentioned. You can also snag powers from world bosses like Ashava or the Wandering Death. Some of the stronger powers are earned from defeating those really challenging bosses, like Andariel or Belial. It's fun to go around Sanctuary and collect all the different powers for your character. Gotta catch and kill them all.
Here's how it works. After you acquire a power by defeating a boss, you automatically gain that power. However, you need to equip it. So just open up your inventory, go to the boss power tab you see here on the left, find the power you want to equip and drop it in. There's no cost to equip or unequip any power. The system's all about giving players the freedom to have fun and experiment. Each boss power can be used as a main power or a modifier power. The top slot is for your main power and the other 3 are for modifiers. For example, the Wandering Death's main power releases an incredibly damaging chest beam, you can't miss it, when you use the channeling spell. But if you were to place it in the modifier slot, well, now it executes enemies. What I love about these powers is how fun they are to play with and how they can synergize with your builds. They can provide things like cooldown reduction, movement speed, evade skill cooldown, and more. The boss powers also complement each other. There are modifier skills that boost your boss power damage or add useful utilities like reducing your ultimate skill cooldown.
Let's take a look at a few of these boss powers, starting with Lord Zir. After damaging an enemy, you spawn these sinister looking blood pools that deal bleed damage. The best part, you can have up to 3 at a time, and they work with just about any build since they proc pretty easily. Next up, Andaril's power is pretty awesome. After standing still for a brief moment, you summon a horned skull that floats around your character and sets enemies on fire. Andy's such a tough boss, so I'm glad she's got a pretty kick-ass power. Now, if you're a fan of fire, you'll love the Harbinger's power. It shoots out dual fireballs that pierce through enemies, deal great damage, and apply vulnerable to every target they hit. Belial's eye beam is pretty awesome too. It transforms your potion, allowing it to deal damage while reducing the damage you take. It does put a cooldown on your potion, but I love that playstyle. Plus, those freaky eyeballs are just awesome. Ruben, can you make your eyeballs go in separate directions?
Well, the night's young, maybe I'll try a little bit later. Like you mentioned earlier, the transformative stuff is great. For example, Duriel's power completely changes your evade skill, letting you burrow underground instead. While underground, you deal damage and become completely untargetable, making it perfect for dodging some of those devastating attacks. That's it for today. Season 8 Belial's Return launches on April 29th. For more details, Marcus and the community team will have the blog up when this video goes live, so be sure to check it out for all the changes. Thanks for watching. We'll be reading all of your comments here and on social media. We'll see you in Sanctuary.